Are you tired of Facebook ads courses that promise, but most of the time never deliver? Most people think that throwing money at ads is the solution, but that is literally the biggest mistake you are making. Over the last 8 years, I have spent over $30 million and worked with over 150 businesses. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap to reaching 7 and 8 figures without relying on obsolete strategies. Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover the top tactics that my team is using to scale ecom brands. I have been auditing countless accounts over the last 3 to 6 months, more volume than ever before, and every single time in that 7-figure range, CAC has increased, creative is not being created fast enough, and founders are feeling stuck in a cycle of ASCs and Advantage Pluses that just are not delivering the results. So when your account gets like that, a complete mess with 136 campaigns running over the last 5 months, it is easy to lose sight of what truly works. Hey guys, I'm Chris Morano, founder of Blue Water Marketing, and over the last 8 years, I have been running meta ads for some amazing ecom brands, spending over $30 million. And like I said, I want to break down actionable strategies for you to follow today, from optimizing your spend, understanding CPA kill thresholds, and campaign setups that are still working extremely effectively. Let's dive in. All right, so I want to keep things super simple for you. This is key. Guys, simplicity scales, and I don't know how many times I have to say that on one of these videos. Simplicity scales. We're in one of our ad accounts here. You're looking at this month, 24 days. Let's open it up to last 30 days. Not a big account, $42,000 spent. First step is looking at the campaign structure. So all I want to do is open this up to ad delivery. Let's just take a quick look. 5 campaigns. That means based on that budget, we're able to spend roughly $8,000 per campaign, but you can clearly see that we have a breakdown here of efficiencies. So although you can't see the naming convention, I can promise you, I'm not lying, this is the evergreen campaign. What you're seeing here, once we dive into it, is that we have multiple ad sets running. You can run active, and we can look at results, and you guys can see $24,000 spent. And if we open up to our custom columns, we are getting a $10.88 CPM. And if we scroll back over here, we're at a 2.28 ROAS, 754 purchases, conversion value of $55,000, and a cost per purchase of $32. So that's evergreen. Now this one's a little bit different because of the product collections and the categories. We're constantly updating this. Now we have our testing campaign. If we go on off, we are seeing that this is where we test everything. You can see all of these different tests have been ran. Now, if we go back over purchases, we can see there's volume here. We've spent getting very similar results, $32 cost per purchase, $6,500 spent. If we go all the way over here, 16,000 generated in the last 30 days. We have it structured so that anybody can hop into this ad account at any time and know exactly what is happening, where it's happening, and the results for those. This is where simplicity scales. Let's check out another ad account. So, more complicated, simplicity still scales. So we have a scale campaign, a test campaign, bid cap, test campaign, different product collections. You can see across the board, we have spent $29,000 in the last 30 days. So roughly $1,000 a day, not a big account. We are getting the same results across the board for all of these. Let's go to another account. This account, $34,000 spent, 6 campaigns. Testing campaign, a flexible format, CBO, scale, cost per result, bottom of the funnel. The exact same results across the board for all of these cost per purchase. Now, testing is going to be a little bit higher, obviously, because we're testing. We are finding winners, which is happening right there. We are getting too early to tell, but $7 cost per purchase. If we go down here a little bit further, boom, $35, $15. Found 2 winners. So we are feeding the algorithm in the most structured, simple way possible. We live by data and always testing. Now, the key to our whole system is understanding that CPA kill. We're going to get into that right now. Now, one of the keys to our whole system is understanding this first tab, that we know the AOV, your COGS, and your CPA to break even. From here, we start plugging in all of these metrics to understand that on average, people come back 1.75 times, giving revenue of 123, product cost, contribution margin per product, and post-marketing contribution margin. Once we have that data, we're able to create this spreadsheet where we start looking at these clients' contribution margin month to date. And you can see when they signed on, $10,000, $17,000. This month, we are so far at almost $31,000 of net after marketing expenses, our agency fees, everything coming through, which if you look month over month, they are having the best month ever. And their spend has not increased very much. We're spent $31,000 so far. Last month they spent $34,000 in the entire month. And as the date of this recording is June 24th, we still have a little bit more to go, but look at the difference in contribution margin. Less spend, more profit. That is the key in understanding these numbers so that when we get back into an ad account, if this ad account was for those numbers, we would start looking at turning off this ad. I know some of you might say, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen, but if your goal is scalable efficiency, that means we need to be so effective and efficient within the ad account that you are only generating a positive return on the ads. Which leads me to my next point is the actual ads that you are creating. Let's quickly hop into Atria and I'm going to walk you through some phenomenal ads that are being created that are speaking to a specific person. So as we're going through Atria, let's just look at these ads and let's actually change these to just image ads. What I want to start looking at is what are the different call outs that some of these ads. So let's go through some of Loop's creative. So you can see what's wrong with dancing by speakers. Clearly, this is targeting someone who loves going to concerts. Professional grade ear protection. Guaranteed, this is really speaking to the blue collar construction worker. What's wrong with an open office? Now you're targeting through the creative, you're targeting people who work in an open office environment and want to shut some of the noise down. What's the best sleep pairing for you? Okay, so now they're incorporating better sleep with their earplugs. Let's keep going. Name a better festival duo. This is a perfect example of the creative is speaking to the person they want to buy their product. 4 times dad needed earplugs. Perfect. Swipe to see why. Now I'm intrigued. I'm a father. I need earplugs all the time. Maybe I need to buy Loop. These are the things that you are able to do now with Meta in their AI and the evolution of their targeting. Sleep like nobody's snoring. Every dad deserves his rest. These are speaking to the fact that I'm a father with the kids who wake up in the middle of the night. Skip the razors, get him Loop earplugs at 10% off. Obviously, this is Father's Day. But again, we are using the creative now to target the people who we want to purchase. So the evolution has become about the storytelling of what your product does, the connection with your audience in a way that compels them to take action. Now, the last step that I truly believe most people miss out on, and there's a couple of people in the industry that I really respect that also preach this, is to utilize some level of cost cap management. Cost caps, bid caps, cost per results. That is generally where we start to see the stability occur in an account. If you are just testing creatives all of the time, your account is going to take massive swings. So the simple structure that I showed a minute ago is key. And then building out another campaign that's going to effectively use cost caps or bid caps is going to be key to scale. Let's get into our cost control calculator so I can show you exactly what to do. Now you might be looking at this and you might be saying this is the weirdest looking thing ever. And it's truly because it doesn't need to be fancy, but essentially all we're doing is we're plugging in cost per acquisition into these metrics, $38. At a break even, this is what our bid should be within the ad set level. But if you've ran bid caps or cost caps, you know that very rarely it's going to be perfect. So we want to test below and we want to test above. Generally, what I'll do is I'll run 138 and then I'll run a 30-40, maybe a 39 sprinkled in there, a 42, a 44, and a 45. What happens is the 45 is going to take, or 48 is going to take the majority of the spend. Performance is not going to be at that CPA target. So we're going to lower it down 46 and start adjusting these bids through multiple ad sets, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, in order to squeeze out as much efficiency as possible. So basically we're just taking a percentage of the CPA target and then adding or subtracting dollars to give us the bid amount. Now, like I said, we're going to get into the ad account now. So as you guys can see, let's open up the time frame, all of this year. And you can see in this time frame, had delivery, we have multiple different bids going. And you can see in this column, we have $55, $44, $44, $88, $54, $50, $55, $56, $60, $58, $48. So we're testing all these different bids. And you can see some of them just had no spend because the bid was set too low at $43.56 using the calculator that I just showed you. And as we have all of these, we are actually duplicating these because I want to see the control here is the bid. Everything else within these ad sets is the exact same. So we want to look at all of these to understand what is the bid and what's delivering the best. So at 58, we actually were getting some purchases coming through, but our spend was still too low. So we were it just wasn't working. As you start going up, $47, that bid was too high at $60. Coming up, we're at 56, got some at a pretty good cost per purchase at 55, $35, 21, 20, and then the landing in the middle at $55.50, we are spending money, we are getting volume, and we are getting a cost per purchase lower than almost all of them except for a few. And this is where scale comes in. Now, if we had no inventory problems with this client, we would actually be scaling this even more. I believe our daily budget is set very low. So let's go last 30 days. We've only spent $750 at a $25 cost per purchase because we're not in a position right now where scale is an opportunity, or we have the opportunity to scale. So setting up your bids like this is critical. And that is how you scale in Meta in 2025, understanding structure in that simple scales, understanding that creative needs to speak to who you want to buy your ads, and then cost controls in order to squeeze the most results possible out of Meta. These are the essentials in scaling Meta ads in 2025 for ecom brands. If you want a deeper dive, I have an hour and 15-minute training right here that you can dive into, walks through every single step of what we just discussed. Hope you guys found this video useful. We'll see you in the next one.